We'll just wait for a minute for him and then we
Sure.
start.
Done.
Yeah, Forum, I think we can get started. Thanks everyone for joining in our YouTube live session today again with Forum. We'll be discussing basically the market views and also the sectors and the stocks which look good for the month ahead. September is uh, usually the month with no earnings per se, so more of macro movement that will be driving stocks. Thanks, Forum, for joining, and thank you for agreeing to host this session with us. Thanks a lot. So we can start with the Nifty views, Nifty and Bank Nifty views actually. Uh, like sec, uh, we can start off with that, Forum.
Good. Great. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining in. Thanks, Sogat, for having me here. And let's to begin with, as we're talking about first the Nifty, and just to bring it a bit on the little bit of in like what happened last week that we had an expiry. So Wednesday we saw a very good up move in Nifty, and then it had been very quiet on Thursday, Friday. Even today, like Nifty is up by around 100 odd points. That is, I think, little more than 0.5%. But at the same time, we see that not too much of really a movement happening. Steel stocks are doing pretty well today, but we have seen that they have got hammered last week, so it's just trying to pick up. So overall, we see it's just been consolidating. Now talking about the levels on Nifty, let me first move to a weekly chart on Nifty and just highlight a certain thing. The orange, the falling trend line which I have plotted, it's if you can see that since October that it began, it has touched one almost. This is the second time. This was on a closing basis, third time, and then the last week, the fourth time. It has resistance over here. So it has not been crossing this on a closing basis. So it is very important for Nifty to close above 17,700 on a weekly basis so that we can look for an upward movement in Nifty. That is the first point when we look at a broader perspective. That the moment we see moving it above 17,700, then the next move would be nearly towards 18,000. That's one aspect. Now, if I have to break it down again to move to a daily chart, what today we are seeing is that okay, fine. Today it has been again moving up. There is marginally more strength. I wouldn't say that it's like in a very upward momentum, although it's up by 100 odd points. But at the same time, overall, when I look at the entire move which took place last week on Wednesday, it has been just moving within that range. So it's the third day where it's being within that range. So again, over here, 17,700 on a daily basis also a good like an upward movement will trigger only above 17,700. So when we talk about daily as well as weekly, both the levels of 17,700 coincide and becomes a very important level for it to cross so that we can see some upward momentum. Now, when we talk about 17,700, what is the next level that we look immediately is works out to 17,960, or if we round it off, it would be 18,000. Now, when we talk about the support levels are again much lower. It's almost like 300 points lower. That is, we are talking about 17,350. Now, these levels, we did see it moving lower. That is end of August. It made a low of nearly 17,166, which we saw a very big gap down. That is 2% down that point of time, Nifty. But at the same time, the immediate levels for the support would for Nifty would be 13,350. So, which I see that it's comfortably much above those levels, and it is moving at the higher side of the range of what we are talking very close to 17,700. So to me, it's we are nearing the like the momentum picking up once we cross 17,700. So we're on the upper side of the range, and I see that it's more on the bullish side rather than we see a correction coming in. So that's on Nifty. Sagat, do you want me to move on to Bank Nifty now immediately?
Yeah, that would be great because like banking stocks also have seen quite a bit of momentum. Today also I saw
Correct.
almost a percent up.
So, talking about Bank Nifty, again, here also we are in fact crossing a very important level today only, that is of 39,890. I have marked it in green, horizontal lines. So just the closing above that would trigger further up move. Now, first, immediately I would have rounded off to 40,000 like as a zone that, okay, for 39,890 to 41,000 is rather 40,100 is the resistance zone. It is taking off, and currently, even when we talk about the a bit of momentum, Bank Nifty has a higher, more momentum compared to Nifty. So even the banking stocks, if we have to go stock specific, we'll go further with that. But overall, Bank Nifty has more, I can say, activity, more of movement compared to Nifty. So let's closely watch for these levels also. That is just today only it's crossing. This is a daily chart. So it's crossing those levels of 39,890 levels. So a closing above that would trigger further up move. So what one can do is that start taking new positions in the banking stocks or even in the bank Nifty index also. So that is one way that the plan of action should be. And when we talk about the supports also, so now there are two things, important things here. That one, that as on 23rd of August, Bank Nifty had made a low of 38,000. Then again, when there was a gap down on the 29th of August, it made a low of 38,129, which means almost it's tested 38,000 level twice, which is like a double bottom. And a double bottom is normally a bullish reversal pattern. But at the same time, when we talk about on the higher side also, we have seen that Bank Nifty has tested these levels of 39,890 to 38,900 levels, 39,800 levels couple of times. So we can say it's been in a congestion zone. So again, once these congestion, there's like a confusion happening, very range bound. So once it takes off this, it's a clear upward new momentum. However, so talking about the support levels, 38,000 is a very important support level. And before that, we have a support level of 38,000, say around 650 to 700. That is the first support level. However, it's very much above those levels, again, almost giving a bullish breakout. So, my view is that we may see some more upward momentum coming into the Bank Nifty also. So now moving on to the stocks also in the banks. Today, if we see, let's look at some stocks in the Nifty 50 basket which are doing well. That is Kotak Bank. So let's start first looking at Kotak Bank. Now, Kotak Bank also is very close to the resistance. Let me just plot this also with a horizontal line here. Yeah. So even if you all see that since Jan, it has been just testing this level. Now this level is basically around 1950 levels. So once we see a closing above 1950, it will trigger an upward movement. Now if I have to zoom it a little, yeah. If I have to just zoom it and show you all, let's see how it has been just testing these levels very closely. So anything above 1950 would be a buy in Kotak Bank. At the same time, when I have to even talk about for a longer term perspective, also, it is good. We see the consolidation has been for a long period of time, and now it has been forming a bit of higher top, higher bottom, which is indicating that, yeah, now the trend is changing in Kotak, and which was watching a very consolidated move, is now picking up a lot of momentum. So bullish on this stock overall. So you all can one can consider buying it above 1950. Look for an upward target of around 2050. So that's nearly 100-point gain on Kotak Bank. So that is a decent move. So I think this is one stock that one should closely watch it and get into it once it takes off 1950.
Right. From I think we have two questions on the chat. First is Pranchal is asking your views on Tata Chemicals. I think like chemical stocks are in focus today after what's happening in Europe.
Correct.
Like majority of the chemical fertilizer paper names, like they are in plans to shut down production, so which can be beneficial to the Indian players. So if you can share your views on Tata Chemicals, and also offline, I had a question with regards to Deepak Nitrite too.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's first begin with the Tata Chemicals. And in Tata Chemicals, in fact, I have been watching it very closely, and I have been actually watching for the level of around 1155 to cross over that on a closing basis. Now, technically, when we talk about it, it witnessed a good movement. Now, overall, if you talk about in the past 2 months, that the stock price has moved from a level of around say 770, and it's almost, let's take this high, which is 1180. So that's a very good move in Tata Chemicals. It's a very surprising move also. I did not expect the stock to witness such a steep price. And in 2 months, it's phenomenal. And now also what we see, the square box that I have marked, it's just more of a congestion right now. So since first initially the level was okay from 1000 to 1160 levels, now it has been revised. Now the another revised level is around 1070 to again 1160. So again, it's been, there is a bit of a confusion here right now. And once we see a level closing above 1160, 1150, then there would be some upward movement. Till then, I expect the stock to be in consolidation. I know that, as you said, Sagar, that because of the things in Europe, how it's going, and we may see some positive things coming in here. But at the same time, where Tata Chemicals is concerned, it is a bit of a slow mover comparatively when we see stocks in mid caps and stuff like that. So even over here, one can look for a long term perspective, and some of them are look for stocks more like blue chip, more large cap, more safer bets. So Tata Chemical is something that one can look at. One can look at buying at current levels, but in smaller quantities, and consider adding on more when it goes lower towards 1080. That is where the support level is, and one can add in more. So even where the volume is concerned, there has been a very like an exponential move there. We see compared to the past few months, there was hardly any volume activity happening here, and now lately we see it's a good movement taking place. This is another indicator, RSI, that's a relative strength index, indicate which really gives us a good highlight or a good view on the momentum of the stock, the strength of the stock. So when we see it is very close to the overbought zone, which is confirming with the price movement. So there's no negative divergence also happening. So yes, at the same time, it's made a lower bottom, a lower top, but at the same, it's moving in the overbought zone, which is absolutely technically right. So I would suggest for a longer term, one can start buying at these levels. For short term, wait for a level a bit lower towards 1080 to 1090 to add in. On the higher side, initially resistance is at around 1160. Once those levels are taken off, we can see a level of nearly 1250 to 1300. So that's my view on Tata Chemicals. You have anything to add here, Sagar?
No, I think like largely what has happened is that like soda ash demand has been very strong for Tata Chemicals, especially with the return of the auto sector manufacturing. So
Yeah.
that is good for the stock. Yeah. Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, got it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So Forum, I think two quick questions. I think Samay and Sagar, it's based on intraday basically. So Samay is asking, is there a breakout in Nifty intraday right now? Levels to watch out for intraday Nifty. If you could
Okay.
do that. And also Sagar is asking, hi Forum, the Bank Nifty has been performing better than Nifty since a couple of weeks at least. Should we expect that to continue as per the charts? Also, which banking name should we look out for? I think we already mentioned Kotak, but offline, I had a question for ICICI too. So if you could just like chalk out levels for that too.
Okay, so first let's talk about the intraday move on the Bank Nifty, and let me just kind of highlight it a little on that for today's intraday move. I've just dropped it down to a 15-minute chart. So I've just drawn the verticals here, which can just differentiate of today's move, what's happening. Now, first on intraday basis, the levels to be watched again is today's high. That is going to be around 39,940. So once these levels are taken off, you can go long on intraday basis also. Otherwise, because we've already seen a steep move, and I've kept a 15-minute chart because there is a setup that normally I look for. And in fact, it moved very immediately, like it didn't even take half an hour also to be in that consolidation trading zone that it could give a breakout. We've seen a very steep up move for the day also. So closely watch for the levels of around 39,940. Once these levels are taken off, you can expect another around 80 points up move in Bank Nifty. And now, otherwise, and your stop loss is actually towards around 39,000, sorry, 39,900 to or 39,880 is what I expect that the stop loss is comfortably one can look for on an intraday basis. So this is my move on Bank Nifty. Otherwise, I will not look at shorting it currently, but I am looking and waiting that once these highs are taken off, I will go long on it and look for another 80 point upside for the day.
Got it. Samay was also asking on Nifty actually. I think Nifty intraday levels.
It's already at day's high, in fact. So, in fact, for the levels, what you should be looking for is that look for going long, but only once it is retracing towards 17,650. So, that is where you can go long, and then you can look for an upward move that is closer to around 17,700 675. That's what because Nifty is already moved up, it's already up by 100 odd points, so your upside would be a little bit or more on the limited side. When we compare Nifty and Bank Nifty has is more volatile, it catches up more momentum, and it has more potential to have more of a movement, even if it is up by nearly a percent. So Nifty also does that, but what we saw on Wednesday, however, we have a very quiet trading days also, like Thursday or Friday, and today also it is up, but not being very stock specific. It's just in few stocks is just holding the Nifty. So currently it is like more going long. You can do that and look, and you can keep a stop loss also of around 17,630. That is hardly like 30 to 40 points on the downside. So at the same time, when I'm talking about it, that okay, you're looking for your upside is very limited. So be carefully look into the Nifty. My personal suggestion is that look for an opportunity in Bank Nifty rather than Nifty for today.
Sorry, I was on mute. So there are two questions from Jaswin. First is on DV Slab. So he's saying that currently it's at 33% discount from its high. Can it reach its 52-week high again in the next 1 year? For that is one question on Divi's. Second is on the defense sector stock. So HAL, BL, and Paris.
Okay, so first talking about DVs, pharma sector has absolutely not participated and contributed to the Nifty's move. If you see, it's just been going down. Technically, when I talk about it, it would be very stock specific, one two stocks which are yet gives us a trading like a trading opportunity, uh, or even a buy at a very lower levels. Now with DVs is that it is currently taking support at 3,440, or even I would round it off to 3,400. So that is where the support is. Now you can consider buying it, but any move below 3,400 would trigger further down move in DVs. So you have to make sure if you are ready to take that kind of a risk. Yeah, when you talk on the higher side, your initial upside move would be around towards 3,800, which is decent enough if you have to compare your risk reward. So buying at these levels is okay, but this is more like because the price move has already come down and your risk is less compared to the reward. That is why I can say it's a buy. But otherwise, when I talk about it technically, it's in a downtrend. There are a lot of stocks which are in a good up move, which are making 52 weeks highs. Even the banking stocks like ICICI Bank or etc., they're doing extremely well and outperforming. So why not get into something like that? But since you've been very stock specific about DVs, this is the trading idea which I can suggest. That look at buying at these levels, your stop loss below 3,400, and look for an upside move of 3,800.
Got it. I think we can move into the defense stock. I think like couple of people are asking views on HAL and BL and also Paris defense. And I think like prior to the call, we were discussing the shipping space too. So Garden Reach and Kochi shipyards, if we can touch on that too.
So first, let's take the defense stocks and HAL. HAL has been like trending up higher and higher and higher. And when we talk about even what I have just shared my screen on the stock of HAL, and we can see that it has consistently been moving up. It retraces, it corrects also decently, and then again it has a good up move. So when we talk about it, it has not witnessed like a very volatile move, but since this year it has witnessed a very gradual and a consistent move. So it's good to be in stocks like that always, like on a long term basis. I would suggest when you have such stocks, always go in for a longer term horizon rather than going for a short term, for a near term. Now HAL has already gone up. When we talk about the volumes also, it has real good volumes even lately. Once it had taken off these levels of 2000 or 19,950 levels, it saw good volume also. So even at these levels, we saw good buying happening, a lot of more potential in the stock. So I wouldn't suggest for the near term, but I think for long term, it is yet very good, and we can look for an upside move also towards 2,600 to 2,700. So even this is a weekly chart. You can see it's a very step up movement. Excellent move in this. Good volume. Moving averages in sync with the price. Everything is going well. So at the same time, look for a lower level if you all are looking to buy. That would be towards 2,250. And for longer term, I think the target towards 2,600 to 2,700 is a good up move. That's on HAL. I'll go on with the BEL as well as Paras.
Yeah, Forum.
Okay. So first, let's me pick up Paras. Paras Defense, in fact, is a good buy at these levels also. I have been following the stock, and in fact, if one can see that since December it had been consolidating, it witnessed a gradual down move. But at the same time, the broader perspective, when we talk about defense stocks, they're always for long term because they perform well, and it's not a good idea to watch the stock price movement on a day to day basis. So this even it took support on multiple moving averages, which indicates it's a good support at 630, 650 levels. Decent up move. Now the stock price is making higher bottoms also. And now it is trying to cross also one of the moving averages, that is a 201, which indicates that yeah, there is some more sorry, it's already taken off the 200-day moving average, but it's taking off the trend line, which I've drawn a falling trend line marked in orange. So once these levels of 717, 720 are taken off, an immediate up move we'll see towards 760. But at 760 is also in a broader range of a consolidation. But the good and the surprising part here is the volume. There has been a very good recent volume increase that has happened lately in end of August, beginning of September. So I think it's a good buy at these levels. Look for a long term, and on a longer term perspective, also look for an upside target for around 850, 900. So when we talk about it from buying at 700 levels and the target of around 850, 900 is a good move. This is I'm just talking about for the next say few months, say around 6 to 7 months. But at the same time, I would always suggest hold on for more than a year. There would be much more higher targets and good returns in Paris defense. And now moving on to BEL, I think BEL is next. BEL is something that has already seen a good movement also at these levels. So currently it might cool off a little and get into the consolidation as what it can be figure can be identified through the RSI indicator. Good volume, but overall it's good. So if somebody is holding on to it, can continue holding on to it. And for buying, you will get a buying opportunity because the stock price has already witnessed a very steep up move. And now we can see the buying is also cooling off. So let it consolidate towards 310 levels, 305 levels, which would be a good safe level to buy also. So good up move. Even the long term targets are good, decent enough here on BEL, like 370 is what the upside one can expect. But at the same time, for a new buying position, wait. Current levels are not advisable. It will just invite a lot of more risk.
Right, Forum. I think there are two questions on the chat on Suzlon. So if you could just give, I think it's in a month, it's up around 41%.
Honestly, personally, I don't really have a very clear view on Suzlon. Before the reason why that is, I don't have a clear view. Let me just plot a monthly chart. On a monthly chart, you can see the fall, what's taken place from 440, and now it's in a very like a range. Now I can say that overall the activity has increased in the past 2 months, probably because the entire sector like picking up a lot of momentum. That is one. This is a monthly chart where okay, fine, there is some kind of a movement, but at the same time, when I see the overall long term view chart, it is yet not giving me a very convincing move. Now let me move to a weekly chart. Now weekly chart, it's I've just zoomed it considering from the past 2 years data. It's giving like a higher top, higher bottom formation. Everything is going well. Now the tricky part is over here. Once like that is in beginning of the month, we saw the stock price had reached to 13 rupees. But again, it was a lower top in April, that is 12 rupees 35 paisa. Now again the stock price is picking up. The big hurdle over here for this stock Suzlon is going to be at 12 rupees. Until and unless it does not take off 12 rupees, it would yet be in the consolidation. So once even if this 12 rupees is taken off, uh, there is a monthly resistance of 6 at 60. That's where would be the next hurdle for Suzlon. So as far as you look for a investment horizon of nearly 2 to 3 years, then is the stock you can buy Suzlon. Otherwise, for a short term, please don't get into Suzlon. That is my personal view. But for long term, you can look for it because it's just turning around as we saw on monthly chart.
Yeah.
I don't know, Sogat, you can add something on your fundamental research if
No,
you have something.
I like frankly speaking, I haven't delved deep into the company, but yeah, it has its own issues, and it's been ongoing since the last like 2 3 years or so. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Uh, we had one question on Reliance. Yeah. The
Reliance Industries.
yeah, Reliance and Deepak Nitrite. I think
Yeah, you made a mention about it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Offline
Fine.
also we have a question on Deepak Nitrite.
So on Reliance Industries, one, it is simply merely consolidating. You can like I'll say the range is like from 2,550 to around 2,700. Now, in fact, it has not reached 2,700, but that's what my initial upside target is. Uh, Let me just highlight over here that as of the June, in the month of June, there was a gap down. So that gap is where it should get filled technically, that is towards 2,700 to 2,750. So that would be the initial first upside move. Currently what we are seeing is lot of confusion, lot of congestion, I can say, not confusion, but it's just been in a range consolidating, not too much of movement happening. If one gets a chance to buy at 2,520 levels, buy it. Multiple moving average support is there, that is of 50-day as well as 200-day moving average. So good support, buy at these levels. Then in the short term, it's like 2,670 to 2,700 upside move. You can book your partial profits there and hold on to it. At the same time, one is looking for investing at once you're getting these chance of buying, keep buying smaller quantities. One can even look for a format of like SIP or buy it in tranches of 25 shares, 25 shares. If somebody is looking to buy 100 shares in total, it's giving a good I can say a good way that you are not investing your entire one amount, but you can even buy it in tranches.
That's right. That's right. I think yeah, Deepak Nitrite and also a few of the paper stocks if you can touch on. I think JK and West Coast.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, so first let's check on Deepak Nitrite. In fact, it is doing well, and even now it's a good buy at these levels. Sagar, you might add on once I finish. You can probably add on more on fundamental grounds, but technically that it has done well. It had reached a resistance point which coincided with the 200-day moving average and it retraced. It has been hovering near 50 as well as 100-day moving average, but at the same time, it's a higher bottom. So the trend is bullish, and right now also it's trying to pick up momentum. Even where RSI is concerned, it has been in sync with the price, so there's no negative on this stock. Again, from here we can see once the entire sector is performing along with the Nifty, I would say that along parallel to the Nifty, if Nifty is doing well, we may see an up move also in Deepak Nitrite towards 2100, the initial target. Now, 2100 is also, when we talk about it, it is in a broader perspective, more into a zone. But when we talk about the return wise, also it's decent for the near term. So overall, I think it's good. When we talk about the volume and everything, good movement. So I think it's a very comfortable stock to be in.
Right, right. I think just looking at the chart, like few things that come to my mind is that last time when Gazprom had halved the production capacity for Nord Stream 1, that was end of July. So if you see the chart towards the end of July till August mid,
Yeah,
the stock price saw quite a bit of momentum. And
correct. This
usually,
entire
um,
phase is
yeah, yeah, yeah.
good.
So so usually when BASF goes out of production, so like they had announced cuts in the Germany plant last time. So this time also, it I think it's going to be a similar thing that will happen, and I think that's the reason the stock is up close to 2% today. Uh,
Correct.
yeah,
Yeah, so I've just put, since you said I was
yeah, this is the
comparing.
BASF.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the
correct.
India entity. Like BASF Germany plant is one of the biggest chemical plants in Europe per se. So I think uh, last time also they had shut it down. This it might be the same situation this time too. I think that's the reason the chemical stocks and also paper stocks they are in focus today because of this.
Correct.
Yeah,
Then we'll move on to paper stocks.
yeah. I think
Anything in particular you?
yeah. Just before that, I think Shraddha has a question on Hindalco. I think we were discussing metals also. Aluminium also is under a lot of pressure in Europe. Slovakia had cut its production recently, and this is mainly because of the high energy prices in Europe. I think
Yeah,
Hindalco is also in focus because of that.
correct. Let's see on Hindalco. Um, it's corrected quite a lot that way. That's almost like from a 636 to almost this low is 308. So that's almost a 50% correction actually in Hindalco. And now again, it's just trying to witness some kind of a turnaround. I had been watching the stock very closely. And in fact, I just already plotted my trend lines. So it's a good buy. Currently, it's taking support also on the 100-day moving average. And we see it's a very consistent move lately since the month of June that we have been seeing. Currently, let me even plot a bit of a consolidation range here. Yeah. So currently we can see also it has been consolidating. The lower range is 410. On the higher side, we have around 445 to 450 levels. So I think it's buying at these levels is fine. It's like, you're buying at the lower range. So your risk is very less. But at the same time, any price move, one should consider that is below around 410 or even 405 if you can wait for those levels. But a safer bet is 410. Any price below 410, you consider exiting it, because then we can expect some more downside. That is towards 397 to 400. But at the same time, on the higher side, you are getting almost 445, 450, which is a consolidation range. And a breakout above these levels would trigger further up move, that is towards 485 levels. So I think the upside potential is much higher and the risk is less. So she can go in Shraddha for in Hindalco. You can buy.
Got it, Forum. Okay. I think lastly we can just touch on JK paper and West Coast if possible.
Paper overall, the entire industry has done extremely well, and we have seen like in JK paper also. This is since June, almost like end of June, I would say, and that is in 2 months a very good up move. Like from 267 to what we've seen is 440, 450 levels is extremely a good move in JK paper. Even right now, what we are seeing that okay, it just cooled off after a very steep up move, and now in this cooling off also it's giving a good level that okay one can hold. So here also who have not gotten can look at okay buying a very smaller quantity, not something like if you intend to buy like 100 shares when the stock price was 300 and you missed the rally, so you buy 300 shares, 100 shares here, not like that, but you should consider since there's already a price momentum that's factored in, so buy 50% of what you were planning to buy here. So if you've not bought it, look at buying at these levels. Your stop loss would be below 400 levels, and look for an up move that is nearly like around 465 to 470. So good up move. So in case you all don't have it, buy a smaller quantity. If you have it, hold on to it. The trend is up.
Europe has just opened and natural gas prices are up 20%.
Yeah, I guess that's going to have an impact. We will just immediately see in domestically also. Next, I'll just finish quickly with West Coast also. West Coast is doing pretty well. Again, it's cooling off currently. There is a bit of a negative divergence on RSI. So it seems that it is going to retrace decent enough towards 560 levels to 555. Wait for it to cool off. If you're holding on, it is fine. And in case it was a very quick move for the short term, your trailing stop loss is around 584. But at the same time, for a new buy, wait for 555 levels. That's where I think that the stock price can come and retrace. There's already a negative divergence on RSI. The good thing is when the stock price is falling, the volume is less, which is indicating there is yet a lot of bullishness in this overall the stock. So once we see this phase might take time, it may consolidate for a while, that is almost for a month or so, and then we may see some upward momentum coming in. So until and unless we don't see the a closing basis above 640, the stock price may remain into a consolidation phase.
That's it. That's it. Puram, I think one Dheeraj has a question. Can you explain MFI indicator? Like, how does it work? It's slightly on the funny.
Actually, that would take a lot of like the
Yeah,
explanation on
that's
this
okay.
indicator would be a
We
bit
can do
on a
that.
briefer note,
Yeah, we can do that in some other YouTube live. That would be great,
because this
actually.
is more on a technical concept and the subject.
Awesome. Okay, okay. Thanks a lot. I think forum we have answered all the questions. I'm just going through the chat once.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Uh, I think thanks a lot, forum. Thanks for taking out time midweek, midday actually, and
Yes.
thanks for giving your views.
Thank you very much for having me.
Take care.
Hope it was helpful. And
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. Was a good discussion. During the market hours is always good and it's more
yeah,
exciting.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Bye. Yeah, yeah. Take care, forum.
Take care. Bye.